Bang! Needs Knives. I'm Jared with my lovely wife, Kara.
Hello.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is a members live. Now, I'm not going to be doing a full sharpening today. I don't have it in me. If I did do it, I would have to not be able to pay attention. There's no way I could sit there and pay attention to both right now. I know it. I know myself. So I'm not going to do that today. But what I am going to do is I am going to hone the KWAICHETE, which is basically like a modern day short katana. If you guys don't know about the KWAICHETE, I do have a full video on it using this and the HOBACK, because this is a HOBACK KWAICHETE. And then I also in the same video had the HOBACK KWAICHETE, which is like a folding, kind of like a folding katana in a way. What's up, Kyle? If you want, I was going to say, Kyle, if you want, we can go over those edges live, but we don't have to. I can just talk to you after. But the KWAICHETE, though, I have it linked down in the description.
Just the three of us, he said.
I don't care. I figured it's Sunday, so
Three of us and whoever else is watching.
Yeah, people usually come in. But anyways, so this is going to be a short one anyways, but I'm going to hone this thing. The reason why I'm not going to point the camera down. I'm going to do it in hand. Now, the two ways I would normally do it is have the stone on the table, obviously, with two hands, giving myself some strokes. I'm going to use an Arkansas stone. This is 154 cm steel. So 154 cm steel is not quite a simple steel, but it's also not quite like a high carbide steel. So Arkansas stones will work just fine on 154 cm. I also have an aluminum oxide stone right here I could use really quick because with honing, I'm not really trying to remove any material. I'm just trying to straighten up the edge a little bit, maybe add a little bit of teeth to it. As of right now, it won't cut any paper. So we are going to, oh, what's up, Erica? Erica's in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it firm in my hand and I'm going to go just like this. So I'm basically taking a, not just a swipe because I want to hold my angle, but I'm holding my angle, locking my wrist, and just kind of using my elbow to just go straight this way. I'm almost just doing a straight motion.
I feel like that would be so hard to hold the angle perfectly the whole way.
That's why you're not trying. You don't want to try to use your wrist. You want to just use your arm, lock your wrist. So you're locking these two parts and you're just kind of stroking straight back so you don't mess up the angle. Now, up here, when you get to the tip, you might, depending on what you're doing, you might have to lift up your elbow. This is pretty straight. It has a little bit, so I have to give it a little bit of a fluctuation, but not much. Most of it is just straight back. And then if I do need to get a little belly, watch my elbow, I might raise it up just a little bit. Now, in order to get this front tip part, that I'll have to set the stone down. I can do it like this, but the distance between my hand and this is so far away, I either need to move up or I need to use two hands. One right here, one on the spine, a little bit of a balancing act.
Would you actually hold it in the air, or are you just doing that so they can see? Or is that how you really would do it?
Well, no, that right now, that's how I would do it. Now I could do it both ways. And I always tell you guys this, to try to learn this stuff in different ways. Obviously, get good at it in one way. As soon as you're good at it that way, try different ways. Because I'll tell you what, if I was in the field, there's no way I could hone this on a bench, on the table. I would have to hone it in hand. And just like our leather today, that we're going to be using, I have a big sheet of leather that I'm going to wrap around my knee, and I'm going to use my knee to strop it. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But I'm going to take some more passes because this shouldn't take too much. We're just honing. So now if there was some damages, we'd have to go to sharpening. It's not damaged. It's just, it's lost its bite, and which just a little bit I've done already is brought it back a little bit, but the edge is kind of, rolled just a little bit. So we're going to straighten out the edge, locking our wrist, flat stone, looking at my angle. Stroking back. Now, normally I would put oil or water on this stone. I have a little bit of soap and water. I'm just going to add a little bit right now. Now, it's the same process, just so you guys know, it's the same process if I was going to take this and say hone this, right? Same process. I'm holding it in hand and I'm honing. Same exact process, just on a bigger scale. Now, it gets more difficult the bigger it gets because of the distance between your hand and the edge and holding the angle. But if you're gentle and patient and, you know, just take your time, it's not hard to do. Rushing this method is where you'll start messing up. And you can do back and forth motions like I am doing right now. Locking the wrist. Nice gentle passes. Can you grab me a towel?
Paper towel?
Yeah. Yeah, that sucker's already getting a lot better. Yeah, Arkansas stones, man, they work great on, you know, steels like this. Now, as far as when you start talking about high wear resistance steels, S90V, 20CV, Rex 121, Maximet, S110V, blah, 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 blah. All right. You need diamond because even though you can get your edge sharp, the quality of the edge will not be there.
I don't see a roll. You know where one is?
There's some right on the gray table where I was eating.
Oh.
With the carbides in the steel, it won't sharpen it. So what will happen is you will sharpen the steel around the carbides, exposing the carbides until they crack, which will lead to microchipping, right? Or what some people, you know, consider carbide tear out. It's really carbide cracking, but that's where that comes from. So that's why you want to make sure you use diamonds on those steels. But on simpler steels like 154 CM, natural stones are great. But you know, you can still use diamonds though, because I personally love the way a diamond edge is. I don't care on any steel. I personally like the way a diamond edge is. I love how sharp or how fast it gets sharp, how fast it cuts, the type of edges it takes. Now, I will be honest, there's some carbon steels out there that, yes, they will be better off of natural stones. So Japanese natural stones, Arkansas stones, even aluminum oxide stones. But yes, there's a many steels out there that you'd be better off with those because of the grain structure of the stone. It's just, it helps with because when we're talking about the steel, especially certain steels, their structure is going to be formed a certain way, and the stone is just going to help bring out that real keenness that you might want in that steel or that edge from, like I said, a natural or, you know, a natural stone or an aluminum oxide that a diamond might be just a little bit too aggressive for. So I'm going to do some more back and forth motions. Kind of locking my wrists or my elbows in place right here. That's the KWAICHETE. Yes, it's the KWAICHETE. So I don't feel any more rolls except for up here I still need to get, but I don't know if it'll cut paper right now, but we'll find out. It wouldn't cut paper before, so I'm not sure if it will, but we'll find out. No, not quite. Almost. Let's what I'll do is I'll hit it really quick on this, which is a little bit more aggressive, and we'll come back to this and see if we can get it. Just see. I don't know if it will. I think I need to do like a full sharpening. But remember, this is a chopper. This is something it's not meant for, I mean, I guess it could be used with precision cutting, but this is more of a water stone, so it will soak this water right up. All right, I'm just going to do a couple passes on this. Oh, yeah, I can feel that. Oh, yeah. Now, in many cases, you want to do this in sections. You want to do this section and then this section, especially if you're going two hands. I'm not sharpening right now. I'm just honing. So, a little bit more. The sound of that makes me think
Yeah, I was
of
gonna
that
read that.
plastic tube.
It does.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't sound so much if I had this soaked, but
It does sound like that. You know that to where you tip it.
oh yeah, I know.
Ooh, ooh.
Yep.
A gazoo. Thank you, Crispy Critter. That is what it's called, a gazoo.
You would know what it's called. All right. Let's move this. Let's hit it one more time. If it doesn't work, I'm not gonna fuss about it too much. It just means I need to take it to a full sharpening. Ooh, I just messed up. You really want to get into a flow and stay in it. Try not to veer.
That was the wrong button.
Yeah, cut it. Now, you also, like if you have little stones for like fixed angle systems, you can use these types of stones if you're good at holding it, and it's a smaller knife than this. They work really good for honing. And sometimes you can be even better with honing with thin stones like this in hand than big stones like this. Because it's just, I don't know, it's something about the way the edge hits it. It's easier to keep balanced and keep at that angle. Maybe we'll have to do a full sharpening video on this guy.
Kyle said that he noticed that the aluminum oxide tends to work better on softer steels, better than he can do with diamond or carbon CBN stones. I'm guessing that stands for.
Yeah, it's diamond. Yeah, it just depends. Ooh, yeah, I think I just fixed it up. Ooh, that fucker feels a lot sharper. And that's diamonds. But on very simple steels, yes, that's what I mean. Like carbon steels, they aluminum oxide, natural stones. Once you get above those, oh yeah, that's when diamonds will work a lot better. Like 154 cm, in my opinion, does better. Like you seen what I just did. That was diamonds. What wound up bringing it back. The Arkansas stone would have worked, but it took a lot longer. So, and this was a 5,000 grit versus this is like 1,200. So this should have worked faster, but it didn't. These are about, you know, between 1,200 and 1,500 grit, sometimes 2,000. But this is even finer. So technically, this should have been a lot slower than this. But that just shows you, you know, diamonds can work really good. But yeah, in many cases, though, aluminum oxide or natural stones would be best for certain steels, especially very simple steels. We're going to hit it just one more time because that felt really good.
Can I tell you something real quick?
What?
I found this feature on the chat where you can pop it out.
What do you mean pop it out?
Look at it. Look how big it is. And then I can like pull up really big ones so you can read them super easy from there. See that? Look how big Kyle's comment is at the bottom.
Yeah, it's still kind of small for me. But
well,
yeah.
I mean, like if it was
bigger than it was.
Yours,
Yeah. I see that. Oh,
like,
yeah. If you put it on mine,
like you could pull up the actual video on your laptop monitor, and then you could just make the chat massive on this one.
Huh?
And it would be huge.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Just gonna borrow your little mousy mouse here. I'm not gonna read the comments for just 1 second, guys.
I'm almost done with this, so one more second. Oh yeah, that feels so good. Yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, it is so much sharper. And that was a VENEV. This is VENEV stones that I use on like TS Prof system 1x6. Look at that. Now, remember, that was just honing. Like, I didn't sharpen. I didn't resharpen it. Yes, it got sharper, right? Of course, it got sharper, but that's not sharpening. That's honing. I'm refining the edge. Yes.
Is your computer muted over there? Because I'm about to pop the video up.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we. All right.
All right. Let me wipe this off. Okay, so I have a big wooden strop here that I could use. But I want to show you guys another little way. But I know a lot of you guys aren't going to have leather like this. But if you do have nice big pieces of leather to make your own strops or whatever, you can get a nice big piece like this. And you can lay this over your knee like that. So.
Oh, you know what?
You guys aren't going to be able to see it, but basically you take your knee and now I can go like this across my knee. And it helps you get a little bit more control because I'm holding the front and the back of the knife. But yeah, man, getting these big strips, you can make big strops, little strops, recurve strops. They also work good for making other things too. But yeah, this came out really good. I can see where it refined the scratch pattern. Now, with 154 cm, you don't want to do too much of that. When you start removing the scratch pattern on 154 cm, you will polish it out and it will get slick. And this, even though, like if I was going to use this for outdoors, like for cutting twigs and stuff, then yeah, it probably wouldn't matter so much. I'd probably maybe want it a little bit finer. But if you're going to use this as, something else, you're probably gonna want some bite on your end. You're gonna want this to be ridiculously sharp, which we could totally get it to, which it's not right now because one, the angle's not right. It needs a lower angle. And two, it's been chopped with and used, so it needs a new edge now. It's been abused. It's not nicked, it's not damaged in any way. The steel, held up really good in the testing. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to tell you really quick. Your comments, like right here. See them over here on the other little screen over here.
Yeah.
If you like can't really see it or whatever, you just click on it. It does this, but it's not putting it in your video. But like you can try it now. You see that?
Mhm.
So like if it's like, oh, it's so tiny, it's a lot of words. Bam, comes down here. Now you can read bigger.
Okay.
See that? And you can still type and respond and everything like normal.
And yeah, Kyle, craft steels, yeah, they're gonna do best on aluminum oxide or natural stones. Now, with diamond, if you only have diamond, you can do it. Just know that the first, like your first stone, whatever it is, 300 grit, a 140. Don't worry about getting it's sharp with that. Just worry about reprofiling with that, and then your next stone. That's when you can focus on refining your edge because, like the steels are too soft and the diamonds are way too hard and they're just way too aggressive for any good purpose. What's going
Will
on with
diamond
this? There.
stones repair notches on an edge?
Yeah, well that's what you want to use them for. So if you have nicks in your edge where it's microchipping, you want to get a coarse diamond stone and use the coarse diamond stone to reprofile it. What you do is you'll be removing that nick with the rest of the steel. So in order to get rid of a nick, let me grab something. Got a pen. If this is my edge, if that's my edge, right? And I have a chip in my edge right there, right? So this is all cutting edge and I have a chip in it. I have to remove all of this steel on both sides of this chip until this chip is gone. So like say if this is the knife, say it's a sheep's foot with a broken tip. Say it's a sheep's foot with a chip in the edge. Now I have to remove all of this steel till that comes out, all of it. So all have to go until I get to there. Now you can, in some cases, depending on where the chip's sat, and not remove the steel from the whole entire edge. Like, say if it's like in a belly or something, like in a belly, right? If it's like right there, I might be able to work this spot out a little bit more without removing all the steel from here, but I'm still going to want to balance it out because otherwise too much steel will be removed and then it'll get thicker there. Please do not try this trick on Nick Shabazz. It won't work. What trick is that?
What trick?
I don't know. I'm just hitting the tip of this really quick, just a couple swipes because I didn't get it. Yeah, you have to use two hands to get that tip, but it did clean it up a little bit. I took a chunk out of my Swiss Army knife the other day on my small blade. I'm talking a chunk. So this segment is perfect. Yeah, so if you took a good chunk out of it, yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't know how broad of a
Oh.
blade it is, but what?
You said that it gets rid of nicks. like mixing the blade. It was like a pun.
Okay.
Like, don't try this on Nick Shabazz.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Got it.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna
got
give
it.
him Team
I
Logical
got
a
it.
good laugh for
I
that.
got it. I got it. But you do want to remove the chips. But the thing is, though, is that with what you're talking about, a Swiss Army knife, I don't know what Swiss Army knife you're talking about, but if it's too big, if it's a small chip like a microchip, you're fine. You can sharpen it out. But if it's a big chip in a blade like that with a steel like that, you might have to just get a new one. But it depends. If it's small though, yeah, you can easily get it out. Um, yeah, it's funny. I'm the worst at sharpening knives. This show is perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't have it set up. Like, listen, guys, I should have had it set up to do like a full sharpening today. I didn't. I'm not in the right mindset. And I know if I do, I'll have to focus so hard that I won't be able to deal with the chat and I won't be able to talk with you guys. And you guys would just hear me saying nothing, just sitting there sharpening. And I think that's just kind of counterproductive. I want to be able to talk to you guys while I'm sharpening. So I figured instead of doing a live sharpening, we can just do some sharpening knife talk while I was honing, and stropping up some edges. I do have a couple other edges I'm going to hit up really quick while we're sitting here chit-chatting. Because most importantly, because I know a lot of you guys don't have a KWAICHETE linked in the description. You guys could have a KWAICHETE. A lot of you guys have pocket knives. So honing your pocket knife is so important. Like, it's so important. Now, it's not going to get rid of nicks and chips, but what it will do is it'll take your knife from barely cutting to now it'll shave paper. You can keep using and keep working with it. Like in the field, you would want to hone or strop or maintenance your edge, depending on how much you use your knife, maybe even once or twice a day. Like a chef, right? Think about a chef. Chef is using a chef knife all day, right? He takes out his rod and smacks it on the rod a bunch of times. That's him honing his edge. He's bringing his edge back. That's not a sharpening. He's not sharpening his edge. He's honing it. Well, same thing with you guys. You've been using your knife all week. You've been opening up all your Amazon packages from your Neves Knives links, and it's getting a little dull. So you need to get it on the stone, get your angle very gently, hold your angle. You should be able to see the edge bevel on the stone. If you're not good at locating that, just hold it nice and flat on the stone and you'll see a shadow underneath the edge. Lift up the spine until that shadow goes away, until basically like the edge will almost change color as you're lifting it. And once you get to that spot, that's your edge angle. Then gently swipe it across while you're holding that angle. And you're basically lining your edge back up. You're adding a little bit of microscopic teeth to the edge, but not much because it's not sharpening. You're refining. So, yeah, you might add a little bit of scratch pattern to your edge, which will be good. And it'll add a little microscopic teeth to the apex. Also, lining up the apex because many times your apex is like this. That is why it's dull. So, what you're doing is you're pushing it back to true. That's what you're doing. Like, even when a chef is hitting that rod, that's what he's doing. Edge is rolled and it feels dull. So push it right back to true and then add in some micro teeth. It's all going to happen with the same process.
Ding, ding. Corey for the 9
Corey!
bones. I'm missing you guys today and this week. Out of town for Turkey Day, but got to drop some bones for my favorite peeps.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And
believe it's already Thanksgiving.
Have fun with the family, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you, man. Thank you for the donation. And hey, it's awesome, man. Have fun with the family. That's cool to be on a trip and out of town. Family's a good thing. Yeah, we're gonna hit it just a little bit more. Now, normally I do my honing on a ceramic on these because these work so good. Yeah.
Roll Chambo, EDC. is asking, is it just me, or once you roll your edge while strapping, it feels much more difficult to bring it back on the strap?
Yes, the strap won't most likely do it. If it's a rolled edge, I've probably almost never gotten a roll out with a strap. So anytime you like, say if your edge needs some maintenance, it needs a little bit of love, and you go to the strap, and the strap not effective after just a few passes. If you've done 5 to 10 passes per side, 15 passes maybe at max per side, and it's not getting effective, you have to go to a hone. It's not gonna be able to work, so you have to go to the next best thing. It's kinda like anything, right? Like, think about digging a hole, right? If I had to dig a 10-foot hole, right? It'd be stupid for me to use a spoon or a shovel. It'd be smart for me to get a backhoe or a bobcat, right? So it's kind of the same thing. The hone is going to be harder and more abrasive for the edge so that it can do the majority of the work. Then you can hit it on the strop when all it needs is a little bit of refinement.
What is the stone you're using right there?
This is a VENEV resin bonded stone. However, earlier I was
Seems
using
logical is right.
earlier
Look at his comment. Probably a VENEV stone.
earlier I was in Arkansas and a ceramic. I was also using an aluminum oxide.
I don't feel like you use the Arkansas was that much.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
On simple steels sometimes.
Okay.
Not as much as my VENEVs though, because VENEVs just work so much better.
And it sounds like our name.
Yeah. Well, it's diamonds. They last much. I mean, Arkansas last forever too. So, but Arkansas just aren't as abrasive as you want. But for certain honing though, that's when I will use the Arkansas for like honing, and then possibly sharpening if it's on a very simple steel. But usually, even on a lot of simple steels, I'll just use diamonds because so much faster.
Trevin says, Jared.
Yeah.
That-
What's up, bud?
Just Jared in all caps.
What up?
Caps lock gang.
Yeah.
UG Aquatic says, I got a T15 M398. Even on a ceramic rod, I can't get out to burr up. I don't know what that
You got a what?
Can't, just maybe you should just read it.
Give me a drink.
It
What
says
does it say?
this. I don't know what that means. I think I'm just.
Can I see it over here?
Yeah, it's.
Let me
right
get Michael really quick. Let me get Michael. Michael, thank you for the 2 bones, man. Bones for the Banggang. Thank you, man. Glad to finally be one. I am too. Where's that?
Right there.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a T15 M398. Oh, Tucson TS 15 or maybe 115. I don't know. An M398. Even on ceramic rods, I can't get to burr up. So, well, 2 things. One,
Can't get it to burr up.
is it a Tucson? Is it a Tucson that you're talking about? That's one thing. Let me know if that
CKF Custom Knife Factory.
it's a custom knife factory in M398. Even on so 2 things. One, your angle might not be high enough. Like if you're trying to, it depends on what you're doing, right? So if you're trying to hone and you have a ceramic rod and you're trying to hone, you're trying to create a burr in some cases, but not really. You're mostly trying to straighten up your edge. But like if you are trying to get a burr with it and you're not getting a burr, it's because your angle's too low. You need to raise your angle a little bit. A ceramic rod will give you it will definitely cut it. Now it's going to mostly push it though. So, but I would say most likely you're probably going to want to do a full sharpening if you're going to want to create a burr. If you're trying to bring up a burr on both sides and make a fresh apex, you want to sharpen. Honing isn't for that. Honing is to straighten up your edge and to tune it up. maybe refine some scratches here and there. You might bring up a little burr, but it'll be a micro burr across the entire edge, and then you're gonna basically push it back over or knock it off. It's not going to be like a sharpening burr, that type of burr. Um, I just want more kukris. Simple life. Um, I want a React gravity knife with a Damascus blade and Damascus. Yeah, I seen that Damascus exoskeleton. It looks pretty sweet. But I like the micarta one we have, man. The Burlap micarta one, and shit looks fire. I like that double-edged spear point. I gotta love it. But yeah, the Damascus one looks fire. I do have an affiliate for VENEV. Yeah, I got one right here for you. Let me what I'll do is I will
There's been Eves on Amazon, right? Because I just linked them our Amazon store that has both the atomics and it should have
but
Veneves
here,
and
here.
dark
What I'm
sharps.
gonna do is I'm going to link this page right now in I'll put it in the chat and in the description because what it's gonna do is it'll take you to Amazon and it'll have a bunch of different ones. So because like I have many different kinds, so it depends on what kind you want. But here is VENEV stones for fixed angled systems, freehand, whatever. It's linked in the description right now. Then let me put it in the chat too.
Yeah, in the store that I linked, we have recommended straps and compounds, resin bonded diamond stones, portable diamond plates, and
There.
Atoma plates and plates, plus some other things
Okay,
like
so
that as well.
I just linked it in the chat for you guys. That is, if you click on it, you'll see a bunch of different VENEVs. So they have the big ones, which are like freehand stones I use. They're not the Dragon series ones I use, but they're the same stone. It's just not a same material, same everything. Just the abrasive is thicker on the dragons, but the dragons are much more expensive. The ones that I linked are not cheap. They're expensive. When you get stones like this, though, like for fixed angle systems, they're a lot more. And technically, I mean, I this is what I used to do back in the day, right? When I was first learning to sharpen, I didn't have the money for 3 by 8. I didn't ever even get a 3 by 8 stone for, like, 2 years into sharpening. I'm not exaggerating. I used to get stones like this, and I would put them in a base, and I would freehand right on them, like, just like I do on my big stones, except for on a stone like this. Sometimes I'd do a freehand in hand, like you guys been watching me at home. Sometimes I'd be doing it like that. And other times I would have it in a clamp on a bench, sharpening, on the desk. So you can absolutely sharpen on stones like this. Even Mike Emler, that's the way he sharpens all his shit is on stones. Not all. Some he has big stones too. But I'm just saying, in many cases, he does do it. Now you can get tri-way stones and things like that, but those are usually not 3 by 8s. They're normally 2 by 6. So they're just like this, but just a little bit wider. Um, and 2 by 6 stones are great. I freehanded on 2 by 6 for a long time, but I will say when I moved to 3 by 8, it massive improvements for sure. But I feel like because of the trials and errors and the struggles I went through on little stones, it made me a better sharp.
What is the most expensive knife that you have ever sharpened, Jared? Oh yeah, Rockstead, right? Oh, wait, no, you didn't sharpen a Rockstead. Don't they have a weird thingy going on with their bevel?
I don't know what the most expensive knife. Yeah, yeah. But I've had yeah, I would sharpen a rock set, but just it's not going to be sharpened like from the factory. It's going to have an edge bevel on it. But the most expensive stone knife I've probably ever sharpened is probably like a Koenig Air. I don't know because I've sharpened more expensive knives than that. I've sharpened custom Terzolas. So probably a custom Terzola.
You have?
Yeah, a few of them.
Whoa.
I've sharpened like everything out there. So the most expensive stone was or knife was probably like a $5,000 knife. Um, and I've sharpened some like custom knives that are like like from the factory custom, probably a couple $1,000. But like, yeah, I've sharpened probably hundreds of knives between 1,000 and $2,500. Like a lot of exactly, Kyle. I knew you'd get it. Um, but yeah, this little stone right here though is out of all my stones, I know like obviously my VENEV stones are my most used stones overall. However, in reality, it's this thing.
Yeah,
This
you use
little
this one a
thing
lot.
is so useful. I can't tell you guys enough. It's 12 bucks, 12, 13 bucks. And you can hone with it, you can polish with it, you can knock off burrs with it. You can even like it burrs around D10 holes. You can do so much with these things.
You can also take your wife's knife who says she wants it sharpened and you do it on there real quick and then give it back to her and she'll think it's sharpened fully. I know.
No, you didn't do
I
anything.
know you've done that too.
No, no.
I know.
But yeah, even like other things, like other materials, you need to knock
That's the
something
work
down
shirt.
or polish it.
Is that a work shirt?
Lansky,
Oh
Lansky
yeah,
stuff.
it is. Yeah, man, you really have used those for a long time.
I've had
haven't
them
you?
for a very, very long
Yeah,
time.
that's the OG stone.
But I can use these the same exact way though. This is just it's as fine as this, but diamond. That's why I love VENEVs. Like you can get aggressive abrasive VENEVs or you can get polishing VENEVs like this stone. This is about 3,500 grit on this side, a 5K grit on this side.
I like this question.
What does it say? Was there ever a
Whoa.
was there ever a was there ever a time where a customer sent me a knife and you were like, "This is beyond what I can do. You're gonna have to buy a new knife"? No, but I've definitely sent knives back not perfect.
I know there's been times where you've saw me like reply to people and be like, "This is what I can do." Like it might
Yeah.
not be what your brain thinks can happen, but something can usually always be done.
Well, you can always do something, but it's not going to be to what like a lot of times people they're expecting the knife to come back perfect, and it's just not possible. Then there's the times where it's like, okay, I can do as much as I can, right? What I feel comfortable doing, but if I go farther than that, I don't recommend it. I'll go farther than that,
Yeah.
but then that means I'm removing like 2 years worth of steel to get this little tiny thing out, and I could just leave it and it'll come out as time goes on and you continue sharpening your knife, which that happens a lot.
I feel like you've had me tell people that, and sometimes they say like, "Just go ahead and do it," because they're in their minds like even if it's not recommended, that's like what they want done because it's gonna get it close to like whatever they want it to look like. But
In most cases, they trust
say
my
do,
opinion.
yeah. That,
Most
I was gonna
cases,
say most times they just say whatever.
when I tell them
say.
I'm going to sharpen it up to this point. At this point, it's going to work for you just as good as if I got it to 100%. I'm going to have it at 95%, but there will be no difference in use. But you will be able to see a little tiny thing on the edge where the apex isn't perfect. But that will come out in the next sharpening. But it's irresponsible of me to waste steel from your edge to get out something that is not going to affect anything other than visual. If you choose to have it done, then yeah, obviously I would get the whole thing out, but then it's on you of how much steel I have to remove in order to get that thing. Because sometimes it's misgrinds and it's from the factory. I couldn't tell you guys how many knives and very expensive fucking knives have had issues because the grinds are off. So like you could have a spot. This is just an example. Like say this is the edge and there's a spot in the edge right here
Swiss cheese
that is deeper than the rest. In order to get that out, now I have to remove all of this steel. That could be a lot of that could be like 3 years worth of steel or 20 sharpenings worth of metal out of your edge to get that little tiny piece out. Or we can leave it and it's going to have a little blemish on the edge, but it's going to be just as sharp and still cut just as good. So it just depends. I saw Jared sharpen a knife once just by waving the.
You're a sharpening wizard.
Also, Rochambeau left.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I said bye to him for you. Also, somebody asked you to describe yourself as a knife. What knife would you be? I think it was shoving.
That's tough. It'd definitely be a USA made knife, 100%.
Born in the USA.
So USA, you get to have good fucking action.
Gotta be quick with it.
I don't know. That's tough because
Maybe
what
a
I think of
freeman.
in my head,
Maybe you're a freeman.
no, what I think of in my head doesn't exist really. You know, I like to think of like the Mordax, things like that, but then you know, I don't like the grind. Like if it had a deep hollow grind and the tip was low, like
what does that relate to as you?
I'm trying to explain.
I'm wondering what the deep hollow means.
I'm not. I'm just saying like because the things that I would like in a knife, like that. I'm just saying like if I was a knife, it would have certain features, right? Like if I was gonna be a knife, it would have the fucking features I want. It definitely wouldn't be the features I don't want.
Right.
So it would definitely have more of a spear pointish blade, or a drop point that is lower than the center of the pivot. It'd have a hollow grind, good access to the lock bar. But no, I just think a lot of times when I think about knives, a lot of them don't exist. Like most of it does, but then there's always one part that doesn't, right? It's always that one part, right? It's like they have everything right, and that one little piece.
I would probably be the mini SOCOM because I've been around since the 90s. It has quick action, okay? It's quick, a little quick, you know, and it's tiny, and I'm tiny, and that's all I got. And I'm sharp.
Jared's too pretty to be production. He's a custom. Yeah, I'm a custom. But I will say though that there's a lot of amazing USA made knives that I absolutely love.
Seems logical.
But I can always find something that I'd like to change. James K with the 2 bones. It'd be a Mistress Steel Rambo knockoff hollow grind. That's hilarious.
Hollow handle.
So,
he'd be a Mr. What is it?
Someone said something about the Banggang up in here. Not a gangbang, a Banggang. I'm
Old school Barlow.
Oh, okay. That's sweet. That's sweet. Just got my mini Praxis delivered and it's perfect. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. $30. $30. Come on, man. That's damn good for $30.
He likes to do dumb shit from time to time.
Yeah, no, probably not. But it's not out of the question. I don't mind some knives with glass breakers. I just don't like it when they poke me in the hand.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like, even if you don't like necessarily what's on the knife, it's supposed to like represent you. Like
I know. It's functional. I get it.
Like the mini SOCOM isn't my favorite knife in the entire world, but I think it fits pretty well. Oh my god.
Theo. Oh man. Oh, Theo, your wife's in here. Ex. My ex would be the half of the scissors. Only one half. Only one side. Only one side. I've sharpened scissors a bunch of times too. I know a lot of barbers should. If you're a barber, you should learn how to sharpen your scissors. If you can't, and you just don't, because a lot of people, they don't have the patience or the time to learn how to sharpen, especially to the efficiency of what it takes to do scissors very, very well. You can get a fixed angled system that will get the attachment to sharpen the scissors. But you should definitely have those. Even like trimmers, hair trimmers, beard trimmers, all those things can be sharpened, and usually pretty easily. Because in many cases, all you have to do is take the thing off and lay it flat on a stone and roll it around. That's it. You don't have to hold it or nothing. That's what we do with scissors too. Scissors is the same way. You don't have to sharpen. It depends, but as long as it's just dull and it's not chipped to shit, if it's just dull, you can take the scissors apart and lay the flat side on the stone. You don't have to do the bevel, and you remove the steel from the flat side, which will in return remove it from the bevel, and then you just knock them. Once you put the scissors back together, then you close them on something, and it'll knock the burr off. There was a song back in the day called "One Armed Scissor." Anyone remember that old tune? I do not remember that tune. Can you sharpen electric razor blades? Depends, but yeah, it just depends on. That's what I was just talking about with the face ones just now. So yeah, you just have to do what I said. If the teeth are too messed up though, you might as well just buy a new one. Like, because everything goes as far as like, is it worth it, right? Some things are just not worth it, just buy new. But if it's worth it, it's an expensive set, and you can easily take the blade off and lay it on a stone and, work the flat side of the guard or whatever the fuck it's called, the blade, then yeah, do it. Super Rad says, "Hell yeah. Hell yeah." Um, have you ever been sent a box cutter to sharpen? No.
For review.
For review, not to sharpen. No, not to sharpen.
Yeah, most box cutters are
You just
replaceable.
replace your blades. But no,
But that would be fun.
there are some, like I have one that's in, I forget what steel it's in, but it's a utility blade that comes in like M390 or something like that. And it's retractable, but it's a box cutter. But that's not a you can buy replacement blades for it, but it's not like a replacement blade type of knife. So with those, yeah, you can sharpen them. But with like replaceable blades, you could sharpen them, but it's not worth it because the time you spend, it's cheaper to just time is money, and time is fucking money. So if it takes longer than 30 seconds, then you might as well just bought a razor or a new blade because you can get a whole pack of them for a couple bucks. That is the beautiful thing about, utility blades. Um, Kyle's winding up now. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. We want bad jokes now.
Yeah.
Bad.
He told him I don't think you should read it though.
All right. Um, but yeah, that's why I shave with an old school double edged razor. Replacement blades are cheap and crazy cheap. So I don't know what kind you're talking about. Um, like I use like the Gillette 5-in-1, where there's a blade on the back and 4 on the front. That's what I normally use. But I do have a straight razor. I have one of those. I mostly use that for more body hair than facial, but, I also have a it's a replaceable straight razor blade. So it's like a straight razor, but you can take out the blade, replace it. But I don't like it. I don't like it because the blades are too thin, and I feel like they're gonna cut me. Um, so I'd prefer to just use, the regular blades.
The audio got
They're
messed up.
faster. They're comfortable. They leave a comfortable shave. You can get everything. You don't have to worry about stuff in your skin and really like focusing on not cutting your own throat and shit. Don't get me wrong. I like to do it sometimes, just um, just for fun. But
Anyone else?
audio issues?
Somebody said they were, so I'm just making sure if it's on their end or on our end.
Helen Keller was the hot one that was great at playing hide and seek.
Todd said he resharpens razors.
I'm not sure what type of razor he's talking
Said
about.
his,
Like, you talking about the kind that has an arm? Like, did
his
you
sorry, he said, I'll be honest, I resharpen my utility blade.
I mean, I wouldn't, just because to me I mean, if you can easily do it, like, just hone it up really quick, that's one thing, but to fully blown resharpenment, to me, you're wasting way too much time, and it's not necessary. Just buy new. Some things are just better to just buy. Um, yeah, but it depends on how your time is. If you got a couple hours of free time and you're willing to work for 50 cents an hour or something, then yeah, fuck yeah, do it. sometimes that's the way things are. Like, there's been many times where I've worked on something and did it myself and put in way more effort than it would have been for me to just shell out the money and pay for somebody to do it, but I've done it even though it was way more frustrating, took so much more time, so much effort, so much this, so much that, just to save a few bucks. Jared, are you part of the KKK? No, I am not part of the KKK, and that's kind of um, logical when Norm got kicked off The View was awesome.
You're not a comedian.
Oh, I've got all the money I need unless I have to buy something. 3 individual disc blades. Okay, 3 individual disc blades. I don't know what a disc blade is. Oh, he's talking for like an electric razor.
A disc blade.
They're the ones that spin, I'm guessing. And
Oh yeah, don't they have electric razors that spin like that, like in a circle?
yeah, but I thought we were talking about something else. I don't know. I look like I would be. I look like I would be.
Oh, yeah, those 3 individual disc blades.
I know.
Oh, I just thought it looked like the 3 of them together on the top of the razor.
But I do not look like I would be. Trust me, I do not look like I would be.
Yeah, that's
If you guys seen the place and the people I grew up with, trust me, you would never think that about me. What do you write? Why don't you just say it out loud?
I don't wanna interrupt you.
You don't. You can interrupt all you want. You're not interrupted.
Uh,
What was this
do you
saying?
want to read it?
I learned my grandfather was a KKK member at a family get together. That blew my mind.
Wow. There's that guy who makes YouTube videos. He's a black dude and he makes YouTube videos. Or I don't know if he makes YouTube videos, but he's talked about
Yeah.
in his YouTube videos. You showed me him where he got like people out of the community.
Oh yeah.
And then like so he has a room in his house full of all the roads.
I'm sure they all know who you're
and
talking about.
memorabilia
Because
because they like hand in their stuff when they actually.
yeah, a lot of people just aren't. They're not around people, so they only are told stories from a very young age. You gotta think that it's just indoctrination, being raised around people that convince you otherwise. It's kinda like a religion. People if you were raised by your mother and father to believe something your whole life, you're gonna believe it most likely, especially if you're not around anybody to battle those arguments. If nobody's willing to argue with you about it and prove you otherwise, you are going to continue believing something. And that's what a lot of it is. A lot of that, I don't think they would even think that if they were ever challenged in a good way or had any type of relationships with somebody that, you know, would otherwise happen. They just don't have enough relationships. Like somebody like me, I grew up in a melting pot of people. So every race, creed, everything. I was the minority for sure, but
by far.
but but I never even thought about it. Never even thought about it. Like, it's just the way it was. There were times, I think about it, like because of what I'd be called, the names I'd be called and stuff, but I still didn't really give a fuck. Like I remember when I was like my parents just got divorced. I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, somewhere right in there. Over my friend's house. I was living in an apartment project. I had to go over to the other project, the other building, and I went over there. And when I went into his house, his mom started screaming, "Who the hell is this white boy?" Started screaming that shit, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't, I can hear her, so I hear what she's calling me, but I just let it brush right off.
Yeah, I remember
I understand,
one
like,
time
even though I
too.
didn't really understand at the time, I know now what she was doing. She was shocked to see a white boy in her house. But to me, I didn't think anything of it, and that was my best friend. Like, me and him were best friends until I moved from that building, him and his brother. Like, those were my 2 best friends until, I
Is
don't
the
know,
sound really
8.
so messed up? What's going on? Is it not plugged in all the way? Oh, that was actually a little bit unplugged, but I don't
Just
think
turn
this
it up,
is.
or just far away from
They're,
it.
they're,
That's
no,
it.
they're saying it's cracking though. That's
It's
not
cracking.
cracking.
Oh no. How about now? Is it better? I can turn it.
Smoke
Is it
crack,
too loud? Is that the problem? Should I turn it down?
maybe, or maybe like just scoot it back to the back.
Maybe it's my mouse not in front of the pop.
No, that shouldn't really
Did you guys
affect it.
hear
It's only a
that
single polar, so it would always go through that.
Sinbad filed for bankruptcy a third time? Sounds like things have gone from Sinbad to Sinbad. I know Sinbad very well. I grew up on his comedy and his movies, so I know Sinbad very well. I grew up when I was a kid. He was on. Like no, when I was growing up, that was when he was popular. So I grew up like everybody did my in their household because he was on their TV, whether it was stand up comedy or shows or movies he was in.
Oh, did you not turn it on to number?
Did I not?
Okay, I remembers.
Uh,
I guess we're just having a live then.
you guys are just
Would
doing a lot.
yeah,
I told
wait,
you guys I wasn't. Today was not a good day for me.
are any of the members vehemently opposed to letting us leave it?
Everybody owes us money right now.
Yeah, I feel bad
Dennis,
to cut
thank
it
you for
off
the
this
2
late
bones,
in.
man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, don't cut it off. Thank you for the 2 bones. Maybe after this, I'll just
I'll
take it
just
down.
ignore
We'll just
everyone.
take the whole thing down
Just
after
ignore
this.
everyone.
No, no.
I'm
After
just
this, let's just take it down. We'll just
what do you
take
mean? Why? Why are you
it.
too
It's not really that. Not really something I want in our roster. Jared, you're only a little older than me. Wasn't Sinbad a clean comic, or was he one of the filthy ones? No,
I think
he was pretty clean. Like even the movies he was in, a lot of the movies he was in, like children's movies. Actually, all of the movies, mostly like children movies. So yeah, he was pretty clean.
James.
James K. Towards the debt. Good man. Paying the debt. I like it. Good for you, man. Jason or James knows what's up. What does that say? Mostly clean. Mostly clean, right? Mostly clean. The only ones that were like 100% clean was like Bill Cosby. You know where that led to. Kebab! Dennis, thank you for the 2 bones. You see that? He gave Kebab a shout out.
Kaboom! I haven't seen him in a
Yeah.
few nights.
You can't understand half of what I'm saying.
I'm listening right now.
Is it cracking
You're a
up?
little like, but it's not. I mean, you
So
can hear
it's the internet. Yo,
talk. You have to talk. It's your live.
uh,
He's listening.
sounds fine to me. Got into the knife world this year. Do you strop after every sharpening? No, not always, but usually it's a good idea. Yeah, I think it's the internet, guys.
But it's not like I
It's
don't.
a little glitchy.
It's not
I think the internet's a little messed up.
great,
But
but it's
so
not.
with stropping, you want to use it as a tool to maintenance your edge or to remove burr. So if you've sharpened, right? If you in many cases, or every time you sharpen, you want to bring up a burr, right? But in many cases, as you move on to your finer stones, you might not bring up that big of a burr, and you might, especially if it's a really good heat treated steel, you'll be able to knock the burr off like that, where it is not necessary to chop. But most of the time, you're gonna have it where when you knock off your burr, there's gonna be little bits of residual steel, little bits of microscopic steel on your apex that you wanna clean off. And that's what you're using the strop for. You're using the strop to clean off the little microscopic bits of burr that's left on your apex, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, guys, we're just gonna end this. The internet's messed up. That was another issue we were dealing with before we went live. I'm gonna get to these super chats. Can't wait for the knives that go ting video. Yes, I got that one coming soon. These people are crazy. Audio is just fine. It's just fine. Always complaining about audio, but it's fine. See, Josh, no complaining out of Josh. You guys see that? No fucking complaining.
I hear just typical live audio, like sometimes in live streams, audio just like a little bit just because it's live and then we were having some internet issues earlier. I don't know what I was just listening to it through headphones through a different device and I wasn't like
Not,
crazy.
not yet, Terminator, but coming soon.
Oh, we got the kiss.
Hey, man. Hey, oh, appreciate it, man. Are we coming back or is it done? I mean, we'll stay here for a few more minutes if it's not cutting out. I just don't wanna I hate everybody sitting here if I'm sitting here glitching out and stuff. The internet's fine. I mean, I'll sit here for longer. I let my wife clean off the bird on my good woman, good woman. But no, when you wanna use the strop the most is obviously after sharpening when you're trying to clean up the burr, but it's not always necessary, and you have to know the limits. The reason why is because you can take a very, very sharp edge that's perfectly fine and go backwards, where you roll your edge. It's called rolling your edge or rounding your apex. Your apex will be nice and keen, and then you'll go to strop it, and you will round it. So you want to be very gentle. A lot of people think stropping requires more effort and more swipes than it does. You should be able to, and if you're ever in doubt, hold your angle lower, right? The only thing that can happen by holding your angle lower than higher, like this would be lower, this would be higher. The only thing that can happen by going lower is you're going to polish the backside of the bevel. But if you raise your angle up too high, like this, and go across it, you're going to roll your apex. So usually when you're cleaning your burr off from the stone, unless if it's a low grip, because if it's a low grit, then you want to chop a little bit more. But if it's a medium to fine grit and you've done a good job knocking your burr off, you only need a couple very gentle passes. You don't need to go crazy. Maybe 5 swipes per side, if that. There's times I only hit it 2 times per side, but it all depends because it depends on how well the burr came off, how well it's sharpened, what grit am I at. If it's a very high grit, less stropping. Low grit, more stropping because the burrs are bigger. Um, Next thing though, when you're doing edge maintenance, like you've been using your knife and you want to strop it up, that's when you can do 5 or 10 passes because you're just trying to even up your edge, line it up, bring some teeth back, and you're using the abrasive that you have on your leather in order to microscopically chip the edge. The abrasive is going across the apex and it's chipping it away, letting it have teeth. So then it has bite.
I have questions here. Which version of the bag glider is your favorite? Just got the 35 tie and I'm loving it. XL button is my close second.
I like the button lock bag lighter, but I think just the regular liner lock version.
I like the first.
I also really love the mini in 4V. I love
that's what I'm talking
the
about.
mini aluminum one in 4V is probably my favorite. In total. But I like the new Tonto one. I love the button lock one. I love the XL button lock. They're all really good. The XL button lock is awesome.
Did you answer? Can you drop to delay sharpening? Did you answer that already? James?
I did not. Yes, you can. You want to. You don't want to delay sharpening. What you want to do is prevent sharpening. So I guess you could use it either way, right? But yeah, when your is you don't want to overstrap. You don't want to strap unnecessarily. But if you're using your edge a little bit, you want to hit it a couple times on the strap and then continue using your knife or carrying your knife. Hit it again on the strap, continue carrying it. And when it gets to a point to where the strap is not doing anything, that's when you go to honing, right? When honing is not working anymore, honing and strapping, then you go to sharpening. Let me read this. What does it say? Here you talk about Stropping.
was supposed to
Okay,
read.
go ahead. For you.
Rams Lampin said, "When you talk about stropping, I totally rolled the edge on my new Kaiser. I was wondering why it's duller after stropping. Thanks for the insight."
Yep. So next time, if you roll your edge, I don't know what type of tools you have, but if you have some sort of fine grit stone, whether it's ceramic, um, an aluminum oxide, Arkansas stone, something like that, and if you roll your edge roll on the side that's rolled, so the side that's rolled, take that side and put the stone to the rolled side to straighten it back out. So if the roll was on this side of my knife, I would take and I would do 1 to 2 passes. That's it. You don't need much. Remember, you're not sharpening, you're just realigning. You're gonna lay your edge down, make sure you have your angle, and then bring it across the stone and straighten it out. One more pass, then go to the following the other side and make sure you even it up. And then go back, maybe one more swipe. That's it. Very gentle too. No pressure. No pressure. The stone is hard enough to push that metal. It will not require any pressure at all. Like very, very little pressure. You basically just want to make sure that you're holding your angle. In many cases, I use 2 fingers. Like, because I'm not sharpening, I'm honing.
Dennis says, "I had the mini Praxis one night in my pocket and already have some like interesting." Did you use it or it literally just sat in your pocket?
He had a quarter in his pocket is what happened. Stop putting fucking knives in your pocket when you have change in there. Stupid. Yeah, you don't, you gotta be careful because change.
Say he had change.
He did.
You're making one
I
very
know he
large
did. He
assumption
did.
on a pair.
You don't want to leave change in your pocket, man. Change in your pocket, bouncing around.
It's literally like you being like,
You
you let your pet dragon play with it, didn't you? Now, you guys, you don't want to
Well,
let your dragon.
but that's what
play with your
everybody
knives.
does.
They breathe fire, they reheat the steel, it melts. Heat treats
See
ruin
that?
it.
See that? Quarter will go right through that. Quarter, a penny, a
I'm gonna laugh
nickel.
if you really had a quarter.
I know he did.
Dennis,
He
you have
did. Yes, he
We
did.
need to know.
How else? Think about it. If the knife is
He
closed,
used
look.
it.
I thought he said he was carrying it.
Yeah, but I asked him, did you literally just carry it, or did you actually use
He
it?
said, didn't he say I literally carried it?
No, I asked him, did you literally just carry it?
Had the mini Praxis one night in my pocket
Yeah.
and already have lots of,
I didn't know if you
or have some microchips.
I didn't know if you meant like you.
Yes, change.
Wait. He just cut one cardboard box.
And you put change in your pocket. I have a very small. Also, just so you, it's $30 knife. Mine didn't come. Well, it doesn't seem like it came with a burnt edge, but D2 is a steel that in many cases comes with a burnt edge. So anytime you get a knife, especially $30, $40, $50 knife that's in D2, expect it to have a burnt edge. With any experience of microchipping, you just sharpen it once or twice, it'll get into good steel and you'll be fine. That's the price you got to pay.
Dennis says, I don't have change, man. It all goes to the Banggang. No, now you should apologize.
I'm not apologizing for nothing, but that was good. Fucker, I see what you did there.
And then
I see what you did there.
Theo's been
Son
asking,
of a bitch.
Theo's been asking, like, what do you think or know about the Shikhan? He wants to get one for his dad, but he doesn't see any reviews of it.
I haven't tried it. The Shikhan?
I thought we had a.
No,
I
don't
remember
know. Reeve Rams's thing. I'm gonna look up.
Rams's thing. Rams laughing. Oh, Rams. I have a very small fine grit stone, but want to upgrade to the diamond ones you mentioned. I have a four-sided sharp that kind of on the side. Thank you so much for the tip.
I have not tried the Shikhan yet. It looks very cool though. It kind of reminds me of kite which we have. I would say since we is the one that does it, it's probably pretty good. They usually don't fuck it up. Now, what was the thing?
He was thanking you for your insight on diamond stones. He said he's going to frame has a 4-sided strap of compounds and a plate type of finishing. Thank you so much for the tip.
Not
To
a
make sure
problem.
if you upgrade, you use VENEV's links.
Yeah, use the link. Links are in the description. But a 4-sided strap, that's cool, man. Having a 4-sided strap. I got a bunch of single straps. I wish I had a 4-sided strap. I have like 10 all with different grit. And then I bought a big old sheet of leather to make my own, which is really good quality leather.
The Terminator says, "What's your favorite post-apocalypse survival knife?" My answer would just be whatever Kukri seems logical recommends.
Probably this or the Kukri I have out of arm's reach right now. This would be fast, right? But the Kukri would be damaging. So this is 154 cm. And here's the Kukri. Something like that.
Something like that.
But
Would you put
this
little,
might be I don't know. Like this would be probably pretty good for post-apocalyptic shit, but I would want something fast as well.
how would you add your electricity to it?
I don't know.
Fire.
I wouldn't do that
Why?
because it's not practical.
It is super practical. Seems logical, does it? He has fire on his Kukri.
He would.
Yeah, he absolutely would.
I'm not in the club. Theo with the 5 bones. Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation. Zombie chopping, Terminator says. Jim, what's up, man? 2 crackers from Jim. You checked out Who Knives yet? Home Slice. I did check it out when you asked me to the other day. I don't remember at all. But I did check it out though. I promise you I did.
Slice more. Remember when people used to say that? What up, Home Slice?
Did you tell me to check this out the other day? Maybe you didn't.
Wait, do they just sell other brands?
Oh, Who Knives do.
Oh, they do.
It looks cool.
That looks like Sebenza-ish to me, that one.
The V2 looks really badass. Looks like there's a dual grind. It's pretty sweet.
I'm sort of disappointed that their logo is not an owl. Why is that so weird, blurry picture on their site, though?
And then here is.
They really messed up not having an owl logo.
Here was one of their other ones. Looks more like a custom. This one.
It looks like a Ray Laconic.
Yeah, it does. It does. I hate
it looks
that.
like the pipes.
I hate the clip placement though. The clip placement is horrifying. Severe says, go ahead.
If I'm using diamond stone and strap at 600 or even 1200 grit, is it a good idea to find ceramic special on the edge?
Not if you are okay. So it depends on the steel, right? Depends on the steel. But if you have a diamond stone and you stop at 600 grit, then the only thing you're going to want to use a ceramic for is to possibly knock your burr off. If you're having a troubling burr, if you got a burr on one side, you went over to the other side, finished on 600 grit, and now your burr's flopped over to the other side. So you got to knock it off. If your stone is not knocking it off very easily, hit the ceramic rod or ceramic stone. Now, the reason why you don't want to use the ceramic stone after that is because it's too big of a jump. So a 600 grit and a ceramic is like 1,200 to 2,000 grit. Usually like 2,000 and up, sometimes like 2,000 to 5,000. So normally it's not going to work that good. Yes, there are some ceramic rods that they say they're 1,200 grit, but they're still, even though they're labeled as 1,200 grit, they're too fine to work out a 600 grit diamond edge. Diamonds are more abrasive than other stones that are 600 grit. So at 1,200 grit, yes, you could go to a fine ceramic from 1,200 grit, but you don't have to. You could just leave it at 1,200 grit and use the same 1,200 grit to knock your burr off, clean your edge up, and then strop. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't do the fine ceramic unless if you're using a specific steel at a low angle. So, like if you're sharpening, just for an example, right? Just as an example, P390 on the spider belt, right? That steel takes a very, very good fine edge. So, if you have a 15-degree edge bevel, then you're going to have the angle that's going to do well with a very fine edge. So the lower the angle, the better your fine edges will come out. If you want to go to a polishing like ceramic and stuff like that, because a ceramic is most likely going to be a polishing or a honing stone or a burr removal stone. So it has three purposes. Hopefully that answered.
Were you?
Yeah, go ahead. What?
You already had it.
Winston with the 10 bone. Winston Cabretti. I like that name.
We're gonna give him
I like that name. I did.
really pissed off with the screen.
I did. I did. I
You did
did.
not.
I did.
Lies.
Yeah, I did.
And S45 VN or M4? You're gonna pick S45, aren't you?
Well, no, I don't really care between. I like them both. S45 is really good. But I like M4 too. Probably M4 though. I love
Really?
it. I like them. Well, I like not really.
Yeah.
No, you haven't. I like
Maybe I
S45
read
though.
your diary the other night. Said how much you loved S45, and if not for me, you wouldn't hear it. I read that.
Well, I mean, it is a good steel. It is a damn good steel. Maybe I would pick that.
Yeah, see, truth comes out.
Murray with the flat bones. When do you incorporate polishing with gunny juice? When you're talking about rolling the edges. Okay, so when do you incorporate polishing with gunny juice when you're talking about rolling the edges? So okay, okay, so polishing is separate. Okay, so you got to understand when you're saying so you can use stropping compounds and not polish. So if you're gonna use stropping to fix a rolled edge, you're most likely gonna want to use a stone to fix the edge first. So you're gonna want to use some sort of hard, very hard stone, very hard stone to realign a rolled edge. Then go to a strop. Now you want to use like 6 micron, 9 micron, maybe 12 micron stropping compound to if you're trying to really tune up an edge that has some issues. Because a polishing compound from gunny juice, like say 3 micron, 2 micron, 1 micron, a quarter micron, isn't going to do anything. It's too fine. So the diamonds that are inside of it, there's not enough of them, and they're too small to do anything. So all they're going to be good for is polishing. That's where polishing will come in. So like you're fresh off the stone, you've sharpened your knife to say 3,000 grit. So you have a polished mirror edge, but you have a little bit of burr on some of your edge that you want to get rid of. You would use 1 micron gunny juice, which is a polishing compound, and you'd strop it. But if you've used your knife and you have a rolled edge, you want to use 6 micron, 9 micron, or like 12 micron to strop it out if you're going to use a strop. I would recommend using a stone, then going to the strop.
Okay, real quick, before we move on to that next one, crewware or 3B?
I link it all the time.
What?
Um,
Gunny juice?
yeah,
Crewware or 3B?
crewware.
Yes, I knew it. Called it. Put it in the chat. But he's gonna pick crewware. You didn't read it, right? You didn't read my little thing.
No.
I know. See?
Khabib. You see Khabib the Prince?
Yeah, I know. He's the
Of
Prince
Darkness.
because he doesn't come out till night.
Hilarious. That's funny as shit. Yeah, crewware's great, man. I love crewware steel. I would probably like if I was gonna have a knife design, I would try to get crewware on my knife. I would love to design my own knife with crewware, K390 especially. I'd love to do K390 on a knife design. Or I'd love to do VENEV too. Well, crap, I'm late. What did I miss?
I was about to tell him you
You're
missed us.
always late. You're always late.
You missed us messing up the audio somehow unintentionally, maybe not, and also you missed us forgetting to make
Honing a Quachetti. Honing a Quachetti. You missed that. All right, guys. Might as well take off. I see the chat starting to slow down, and Ed just got here, so this should probably fucking leave now. He wants to show up late. Jared, you messed. I love Rex 121. I don't know if I'd get it on my own shit, but I mean, it's awesome, but it's like putting Maximet on your knife. It's going to be good for specific things. What I'm fascinated by right now, the steel I really want to try is the 15B. Especially after seeing Triple B use that shit, it looks incredible. So we'll see. I have no idea about it yet. So, but it looks like it's going to be an amazing steel.
You already fell for one. See, Kyle, I tried. I knew he asked that.
Happy Thanksgiving, Ninja.
Sharpening questions. Yeah, back in the day when we were much smaller, seems logical. Like a couple other people used to always like purposefully start asking as many sharpening questions as they could right at the end of the lives, and every time he would just start answering all of them, not realizing what was going on, and then even when he did realize, he just still answered all of them.
I always like these lives. More laid back, fun, and lots of names I have known for years now. Yeah. I like
members only, but I think just because it's not a scheduled time.
It's supposed to be.
Like, it's a scheduled time, but like people don't assume that it's going to be public.
Yeah, so, I shit the bed on it. I was late popping it on, and we were having internet issues, and so like I literally got it up and ready. Like a couple minutes before. We did not give away a rock set.
Someone's like, "What I missed?" You think you're gonna win rock set? Yeah, that was Things Logical's evil genius plan back then, and it worked, man. Sometimes you guys could get like an extra 30 out of it.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
What knife is the must buy right now? Like, leave the stream and buy. Ooh, I got you. The Concept Convict on Blade HQ. The link is in the description. Blade HQ, go to there and put Concept Convict, because that knife is going for like I don't know, like $60 or something, cheaper than normal. So that's a fire deal. The double thumb stud version, though. Other than that, I'm looking at the what is it? The Jared was it F-22?
F-22 was
Kickstop.
Yeah, Jared Oweso or something. Oweso.
Jared Owen or something.
No, it's not Owen. It's like Oeseo. Oweso.
Whatever.
There's if you go to our community tab on YouTube, go to our YouTube page, scroll over to the right to the community tab, and you can see the
yes, Jared Ozier.
Yeah, Ozier.
F-22. Yeah, that looks really good. I'm probably gonna get one so I can let you guys know how it is. That'll be coming soon. I love the way it looks. Hey, I got a step-by-step video for you, brother. Step by step. Every detail put in that video. I put a lot of work in that video. One of these days, I'm going to redo that video because I'm even more knowledgeable than I was at the time, and I think I could do it even better today than I could then with my editing knowledge and stuff like that. But that video is still a damn good video. My step-by-step freehand sharpening video. Do you guys need a new router? Do we need a new router?
No, we just got a new router. We don't need one.
All the titanium. Really that's the one that I'm gonna get. That's the one I'm gonna get. The all titanium with the black accent.
I like the one
I know, me too. Me too. But then when I see those full titanium versions,
was there one also that was full black carbon fiber?
Yeah.
That one also
with a titanium lock
was like
bar,
blacked out. Yeah. No,
Tri-State's in the house. What's up, Buttercup?
Howdy.
Aren't you supposed to be live right now for like the next 6 hours? You fuck. No, I was joking. What are the Neves doing for Thanksgiving? Going to family, and eating.
Oh my god, it's a cat.
Going from no polish to polished level. Is it done mainly with the stones and then stropped with gunny juice?
You have a hard time because you have paws instead of hands.
Okay, so yes, the stones are what you want to use mostly to polish. So you want to start with a low grit, go to a medium grit, then go to a fine grit. From the fine grit on is when you're going to go to polish. So there's fine, ultra fine, and then so on and so on. So everything over 2000 grit is polished. So between 1200 grit and 2000 grit is cloudy. Okay. So before that, like so, um, 600 to 1200 or even 600 to 800 is considered like a medium grit. 500 to 800 is like a medium grit, and a fine would be like 800 to 1200 grit. And ultra fine would be 1200 to 2000. Over 2000 is polished. So as long as you use stones, between all that and you get to the 2000 grit, then you can jump to like 5,000 grit, right? Because you've refined all the scratches out. The biggest thing to polishing your edge is getting the deep scratches out with the previous stone. Spend more time on your stone. So with profile, do all your sharpening with the first stone, 300 grit or less. Then you move to 4 to 600 grit. Make sure all the scratches are replaced with the new grit. Then move to 1,000 grit. Make sure all the 600 grit scratches are out with the 1,000 grit. Then move to 1,500 grit. Make sure all the scratches are out with that. Then go to 2,000, and then from there you're going to be on a polishing streak. So anything after that is going to be mirror polished. The higher you go, the more mirror. Then you can use a lower micron stropping compound to get even the finer scratches out if you really, really want to get like a super glossy mirror. Now it's not always you don't always want to do that though. In many cases, just a nice polish with a little bit of fine scratch pattern is what you want because it'll be still mirror, it'll still be Instagram approved, you'll still be able to read off of it. But if you really, really look at it and you get it in the right angle, you can see little microscopic scratches, but barely though, and they're far and in between. But that makes sure you have a polished edge with a lot of bite. But yeah, stropping you'd only use that for polishing if because you're going to do the same thing. If you're going to use stropping for polishing, most likely you're going to roll your edge. But if you don't, and you're like the best stropping person ever, you're going to need like 5 or 6 different strops because you're going to need like 12 micron, 9 micron, 6 micron, 3 micron, and 1 micron. You do the same thing on the stone. Now, if you go to like 1200 grit, then you can do that with the strop. You go like 1200 grit off the stone and then start with like 12 micron and go to 9 micron, 6 micron, 3 micron, 1 micron, and you'll be able to polish your edge on a strop. But you first have to, have a fine grit off the stone. We have to pay tax for the total
Out of the
cost.
country.
Yeah,
Out
that
of country
sucks.
cost.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Strop all day long. Strop. Sing this
I think
song.
he's losing it.
He's losing it. Losing his mind. Losing his damn mind.
There you go. That's a good one. Click. Oh, you clicked the different one. I meant the one you were on.
Okay, this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
But I am the queen of the mod squad. That is true.
yeah, that's
The
true.
mod mom.
So I just got my micro mesh pads from Amazon. Shipping from the States kills me. Can't wait till I get the bill and put taxes. That sucks, man. I know sometimes I have to order shit from like, other places too, and pay an arm and a leg if I want specifically. What was that? Where's it at? Let's see that. Oh, let's see
You
it,
gotta
no.
give him one.
Let's see
Just
it.
one.
Bang it! All right, guys. What's up, Michael? What's up, church? How you doing, man? So, Roaster, not sure if you got this earlier, Jared. You got a Civivi Mini Praxis. How's the size? It's small. It's a little bit smaller. Watch my video. You fuck.
Small.
Watch my video. But it's a little bit smaller than the Elementum. Not by much, but a little bit. But it's very similar to the Elementum in size, just a little bit slimmer. So, the handle is not as hand-filling as the Elementum. So, but it's small, snappy, really good. The fit and finish on mine is amazing. Like, I've never gotten an Elementum as smooth as the Praxis. Yeah.
Severe Deceit said, ordered the ultra sharp diamond plates 36 and 1200. Looking forward to destroying
Don't
my
be a
wife's
smart-ass,
favorite
Kyle.
kitchen knives.
Kyle's trying to be a smart ass in here. What would you say?
I said, ordered the ultra sharp diamond plates 36 and 1200. Looking forward to destroying my wife's favorite kitchen knives.
There you go. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Good
Do you have any
stones.
of your
Good
own knives to
stones.
destroy, or is
No,
that just a
no,
you
no.
want some?
Practice on the kitchen
Yeah.
knives. Practice on the kitchen knives. But I will say this though: the importance of heat treat.
Yeah.
Fucking Kyle.
Oh, it's really simple.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that sharpening some shit steel with a shit heat treat? You're probably not going to get the best edges. I'm telling you that right now. So do not feel defeated. Don't feel defeated if you can't, for some reason, get those knives very sharp because they have shit heat treats. They're like not even heat treated, or they're heat treated on a conveyor belt. But a good steel with a good heat treat, you will have a lot better experience sharp. Like people always ask me, what was the toughest steel you ever sharpened? What was the hardest knife you ever sharpened? Gas station knives. Gas station knives with super soft heat treats. They are ridiculous to sharpen. They're very difficult to get a good apex on. This one, Kyle.
On the screen.
Jared says braid geometry is unimportant. Exactly. So it's more about the action. You guys are fucking with me now. Sort of off topic, but I just got the Benchmade Presidio 2, and I'm in love with it. Definitely my date. There's a couple Benchmades. No, oh, I've had one in, but I never owned one. No, but I would love to see a couple Benchmades. All right, a couple more questions, and we're getting out of here. I've heard Kyle say if Pachymascus is heat treated properly, you can shave a spider's ass with some stropping. That's funny. Pachymascus.
I'm literally picturing like those like furry spider abdomens and just tick, tick, you know what I mean? Like it's so sharp. Did I ever tell you guys the story where I was in my kitchen and I saw a big furry spider on the curtain? I think you were gone. So, like maybe you came in as this was happening. I can't remember. But big giant furry spider. We don't have any furry spiders here. So like when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. And I took like the stick that people what? Right now or when I finish? Okay. Anyway, I took the stick out of the door and whacked it off, and that fur that was on its butt.
You whacked it off?
Yeah, yeah. And then the fur that was on the spider wasn't fur at all, and it was like 40 billion tiny babies that just started spreading all over the kitchen. Okay. It was terrifying.
Okay, so listen, I'm gonna answer TS Prop. However, wait, because I have a big deal for you guys coming up for the TS Prop systems. Wait. Don't buy it yet. Just wait because I got a fat ass deal for you guys coming to TS Props. So just hold off for a few more days, literally just a few days, and I will get you guys a fat ass deal on some TS Prop. We got the Thanksgiving sales coming up or Black Friday sales coming up. So, yeah, but that's what you're going to want. I would recommend that regardless of the sale, but especially because of the sale, right? But besides the sale, if you have the money, the TS Prop is superior. That's the thing. You know, if you don't have the money, then you can't afford that. Then you have to go with what you can afford, right? But if you have the money, then yes, it's superior in every way to the KME or any other system that I've ever tried. Now, the thing is, there's lots of different TS Props. I would go with that Bro, but there's other ones too. Like it just depends on.
You guys are running out of good questions.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Did you ever sharpen a real Japanese samurai blade?
Just did today. It's qualifying. James K with the 2 bones. That knife roll deal still on the horizon?
You just have
no.
to go.
No.
Wait, what? Oh, that knife roll deal. That knife. You had a different one posted on, I think, for Blade HQ. They're just cheap knife rolls, but they're probably sold out.
But no, I've never sharpened a real Japanese samurai blade, but I would. But it'd be so much money. Like, well, if it was my own sword, I could do it. But like to charge somebody, it'd be a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
like it's a lot of work.
Even a regular blade would be a ton of money.
Well, just the type of work it would be like sharpening 10 knives.
He said wasn't expecting Jared to pull that out. Yes, I have.
Right.
Should have pulled out the big giant one over there.
Right,
The red
right,
one.
right. They've never seen that one yet.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
no. We can show it though really quick.
really?
Yeah, I'll show it really quick. But don't tell nobody
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
because I got a video coming soon on this. Seems logical's juicing right now.
Don't say that. Super boy. Okay, is it better now?
Yeah. I gotta wipe my hand oils off of it after this. Don't let me forget. Juicing.
Stop saying juicing.
Don't let me forget to wipe that off. Oh boy, now everybody is going down the sword rabbit
That
hole.
seems logical. I'm actually pretty mad about it.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be so juiced out, man. That's kind of upsetting to me.
Do you know what?
I actually do, but you're gonna have to wait for the video.
Oh, somebody made the comment earlier that's a sailboat, and I didn't know what they were talking about. Now I do.
Ah!
That is totally a sailboat.
Yeah, it
Really
is.
useless
That is
sailboat.
so funny.
I wouldn't
I'm sitting there trying to tell them how it's an edge.
They're all like, that's a
It's like a
sailboat.
sailboat, stupid. Any word on what the name? Oh yeah, yeah. Watch the video because I have it written down somewhere, but just, I have a video coming up soon. I still have to do the work, my half, but me and Joe are gonna do a little bit of a collab. I have the perfect item to
Oh, I was just
complement the
replying to
skull,
that.
but it is an authentic one. It's a good one. I mean, I don't know if it's, Japanese made, it might be Chinese made, Japanese design, I'm not positive. I think it is a real Japanese one though. But I think they're like a couple thousand bucks, those ones, or less, maybe like 1,200 bucks or something like that. I don't know, I forget, but it's legit though. Uh, Pretty dope. How did the zombie skull video
it's true.
perform?
I
Why don't
think
you answer that?
if we can get maybe a donation from companies to do another video like that, we might. But I think as of now, the money for what those things cost maybe isn't super worth the video, even though that probably is something we would enjoy doing more than a tabletop. But the issue is that in that particular video, it's sort of hard to say if it was really just people not clicking or if it was the fact that we got copyright strikes on a song that was not copyrighted, which eventually we won the thing. But I had to go back and forth like 4 or 5 times with them. And typically, when a video they assume that it has copyrighted stuff, that even if you have no like say in like defending yourself right away, they'll knock it out of the algorithm like badly. So it's really hard to say. We got it resolved somewhat quickly, but the time in which that was occurring was during the time where we get the most views. So it's
I would
sort of
do.
a
I'm gonna
risk.
do it again though because
Yeah,
the
that's
way
true.
those videos work is I need to do like 3 or 4 of them so that I kind of yeah, that and also get into the algorithm of that type of video.
Like we have clout in the space of smashing stuff.
Right, which will pick up if you do it over time. Doing just one does not get you anywhere. You have to do a few. But I'm still happy with I'm very happy with the
Yeah.
video. No, it was definitely a loss for sure. Money-wise, it was definitely a loss, but that's okay. Some videos are just losses. That's the way they are. But they're investments, because it's invested time,
It's
right?
probably the concrete bath that ruined
Well,
it.
you have to get one video right. You can't get to your 3rd, 4th, 5th video without doing the other ones, which could possibly lead to really, really good videos and future donate. Because man, I'd love to donate me a skull, but I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, they have any.
All right, guys. I'm gonna take off after this one. Jared, you should get
Yes, right. Didn't that guy like lose?
my twin.
Yeah, FPS Russia. I know who he is. I really thought that he like maybe I'm thinking of
I think
somebody
he's
else.
talking shit right now.
FPS Russia.
Coconut could work, but be careful not to glance the blade
Yeah,
off
this
and
guy
cut
lost his
yourself.
channel and he wasn't even really Russian, right? He was like really faking his accent
I don't know who it
and
is.
he's
No, he's definitely not my twin.
Eh,
Um, but um, but no, I with stored I'm gonna use watermelons and like okay.
he looks a lot.
Huh.
But yeah, no, that
I
dude
could see
like
where
lost
I
his
see where
whole
he's saying
channel. He got in a bunch of legal trouble because of the stuff he was doing on his
because
property.
he's a
He was doing
liar.
like the
I
craziness.
think that's cool.
I don't think he ever lied about the accident, but he like because he would do videos where he didn't have it, but just like a lot of people could see those.
Not
He
since he's
might
in
be. I thought
prison.
he got in a bunch of legal trouble, if I'm
And
not
that would mean
mistaken.
I could be in
He
prison.
didn't have the permits to do a lot of the things he was doing.
In what country
He's
is he in?
been crazy.
Russia? In
No,
Russia?
he's been he pretended to have a
Oh,
Russian accent.
he acting like he was Russian in
Yeah,
Russia?
but like he had videos where he would just talk normal, but like a lot of people didn't see those. They were getting,
Wait a second, as long as he's on his own property, if you're in the United States,
he
you
was
you,
doing
you can blow
things.
shit up.
No, he had like items that he wasn't supposed to have, like full on grenades and like little tanks and crazy shit that he didn't have.
He just didn't have licenses
Yeah,
for
you
it.
have to have certain things. Like you
Uh,
can, but you have to like. Yeah, his name is Kyle Myers, not Russian.
all right, guys. Thank you guys for showing up and hanging out. Sorry this wasn't as interesting as it normally is, but yeah, shout out to the Patreon members. Like I said, after Thanksgiving, I said this last night. After Thanksgiving, we will be doing the giveaway to the patrons. Um, possibly right before, but you guys won't be receiving them until after. So watch for that video coming up soon for the Patreon members. For the Banggang Squad, we will be coming back here in 2 weeks for another live sharpening video every other Sunday. I'm not sure what the date is on the next one, so hopefully it is. Uh, but see you guys Wednesday. Thank you guys for all the donations. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love you guys. Peace.
He's
And happy Thanksgiving to everybody.